this game show you anything about maybe we're too premature on breaking up Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid?
What last night showed me is that the talk of the Sixers' demise and of breaking them up is just what the doctor ordered. And I mean that because Joel Embiid is certainly hearing the talk about he might get traded in the offseason. He certainly heard the boos. It was the third straight game that he's been booed in Philadelphia, okay? Ben Simmons is hearing the talk. You mentioned Charles and Shaq. He's hearing the talk. Should he have been an all-star? You know, that Trae Young and Ja Morant have now become the hot young point guards over him. He's hearing all of that too. And maybe, just maybe, they are beginning to wake up. Because, Rob, you've covered the NBA and other sports a long time. When young stars enter the league, or young players that could be stars, their first priority is establish myself as an individual star. It's over winning. Their priority is establish myself as a star individually, maybe make some all-star teams so that in a few years, when it's time for that max contract, I can get it. They're not that concerned about winning. And to be honest, we kind of let them go. You know, you lose your first few years. We don't expect you to win much. We get it, okay? But then, after you're a few years in the league, okay, you've been an all-star. You got your max deal. Now, when it's not equating to winning, when you're not playing up to your potential either as an individual or a team, people begin to take a little bit of that respect away from you. I've seen it happen with players time and time again, and you can see it happening with guys now. Karl Anthony Towns. A few years ago, he would always be the player that GMs would start their team with, Karl Anthony Towns. Not so much anymore because they're not winning. Bradley Beal didn't make the All-Star team. Devin Booker's upset, didn't make the All-Star team. We're at the point, okay, guys, we see the numbers. Start winning. And maybe now Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are beginning to get it and understand all the all-star berths and the money, and we are celebrities. That's not going to get us the respect we want as basketball players. So I think perhaps, I'm not going there yet, but look, they won 3 straight. They beat Chicago, okay. But they beat Memphis at home, which is a pretty good team. And yesterday, obviously a good win, double figures over Boston. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, arguably, Brett Brown, the coach, even said this, that may have been their best game together since he's been coaching the team.
Chris, this is all at home, where they dominate.
Right.
25-2, best record in the league. Rob Parker.
That's where we'll find out is if they've really woken up.
Yeah,
is
the
if they can win on the
76ers
road.
have the same road record as the New York Knicks.
And there you go.
Awful.
There's the telltale sign right there. And I'm out on this pairing and these guys. And I know they're not going to do anything now, obviously, but as you go forward, you know, everybody told everybody, trust the process. The Sixers were bad for a long time. They got 2 really good players, 2 stars, which we all like. We like them individually. Sometimes they just don't go together. And when you take a look at it, you probably need to move one of these guys because they both need the paint to operate, right? Simmons really can't shoot from the perimeter, so he's only really effective when he's there. Embiid has to go outside and shoot from there because there's no room in the paint because Simmons is there.
Simmons did have a triple-double last night, guarded a lot by Paul George.
I'm not saying that he's not a good player, but I'm just saying as far as matching those 2 guys together, and I get it, it's hard to give up star talent, even if they don't really go together because they have had success. We know it took the Kawhi shot in Game 7 to beat them, right? What if that doesn't go in, they win, and they move forward, then you're have a different conversation. All the talk has been about Brett Brown. Oh, he's not the right coach. You know, it's been everybody. They went and got Al Horford. He got benched, right? He was supposed to be the missing piece to put this all together. He's that quiet veteran guy who works with everybody. It hasn't worked. And their road record is indicative and tells you a lot about this team. You're not supposed to be 25-2 on the road, but you need to be 500 if you're a really good team and you're going to make that move, Greg. So if it was up to me say they get knocked out in the first round or don't have a good showing in the second round, I'm ready to go the other way, break them up, see if I can bring in a player who's more compatible for the guy that I decide to keep.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rob. I don't think that it's premature because in the regular season, anyone can put together these spurts or this type of showing, specifically at home. We see how well they play at home. But last night is what frustrates Sixers fans about this team. They show up and play really well against arguably one of the elite teams in the NBA. And they have a great showing across the board. Bench guys, everyone pours in and does their thing. Embiid chooses to play, and he chooses to play big, and he chooses to go down in the paint and dominate and give us this versatility of more dominant showing in the paint and then less on the perimeter when needed. And then Ben Simmons does his thing. He gets out in the open field, open court, and he pushes the tempo, specifically when Embiid is out on the bench, and they can run with the best of them. This is what frustrates you about this team. They don't do it consistently every night. And at the 5th seed, where they are right now, they are going to have to prove to take this showing of what we saw last night on the road. Because you're saying, you know what, we're not going to play like this every single night to get the 1 seed or 2 seed or somewhere to where a team is going to have to come to us in 7 games. We're going to have to show that we can do this on the road. And you talk about Brett Brown, we often like to make sure that or put it on somebody else.
Right.
It's always a finger-pointing contest. And Brett Brown last night, it shows you that it's not just him. It's a choice with these players. Are you going to play every single night the way that you do at home, on the road? We talk about their road record being poor. Like, it's an effort deal. And Embiid gets criticized by Shaq, by Barkley, all these bigs, all these guys who understand what it takes and how it looks to compete night in and night out. And you alluded to this subtly. Maybe all the grumblings about potentially being the one that's out is going to register and going to make sure that he starts to play this way every single night.
We do forget, Greg, if they were to face in Indiana in the first round, even if they don't have home court advantage, who are the 2 best players on the floor? Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Better than anyone on Indiana.
When they choose to be.
Even if they play Toronto. I know Pascal Siakam's been good. The 2 best players on the court are on the Sixers.
Arguably.
But it's not always just the best players who win.
That's a great
team,
point.
it's the best team.
And that's why
and you get contributions from other people.
That's why I believe they don't play through Embiid. They play through Simmons. Embiid, 28 minutes last night. Ben Simmons, 43 minutes.
Only 28 because he was in foul trouble.
Right, but 22 shots for Ben Simmons. He ran the offense. You go look up the highlights in the half court. Ben Simmons could not be guarded by Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Paul George. He took him to school. 26, 12, and 10. I'm telling you, they run this offense through Simmons. And I know you don't want Embiid to sit on the perimeter. I think that's their best offense. Now, Al Horford.
Not with him on the perimeter.
I mean, again, he
might
make
as well be
threes.
6'5".
Right,
Not exclusively
Why are you
on the
wasting
perimeter.
the height?
He's not exclusively on the perimeter, but again, you can't clog the lanes. Then Ben Simmons is useless.
Chris,
Then he's useless.
Who's the better passer? Ben Simmons,
Ben
obviously.
Simmons
He's a
is
great
the better passer, but look, Embiid is nice that he can step out every once in a while and hit a 3. Keep the defense honest. But if he's going to be almost exclusively on the perimeter, last night he was in the paint. As Greg said, 4 of his 8 shots came from within 4 feet of the rim.
That works.
He got to the line 13 times. That shows you he was down low. He wasn't sitting on the perimeter just shooting 3-pointers. That's what I like. So you brought up the 2 best players on the team, on the court. A lot of times, they're starting 5, well, not starting 5, but I'd say talent-wise. They have the most talent in the Eastern
They've got more talent than Milwaukee. We agree with that.
But they're not the best team, though.
No, but they could be. This is why I picked them in the preseason to represent the East in the finals, because potentially they could be great. And I think it's perfect because, look, I'm with you, Rob. We let this regular season play out. If they go out in the first or second round or get smashed in the conference finals, then I'm moving on probably from Embiid.
Is it Embiid? Is it Embiid you would trade, Chris?
If they play tough in the conference finals, even if they lose, then I would give it another year. But if I had to move one, I would move Embiid because of the health concerns. And I just think today's NBA, Ben Simmons can be like a point center. You could play him down
he's
low.
tall enough.
This is why you're looking to we just talked about all the talent. Why wouldn't you first move on from Brett Brown, try another coach,
that's another option.
and keep these 2 together for one more year? How often are you going to get 2 of the 10, 15 best players in the league on the same roster? That doesn't happen every night.
But it's,
you
it's
can't
still
just
about
break
a
that
fit,
up.
though.
That's
It's
a great,
about- it's
that's
about
a good
It's
option
too
too.
early.
It is about a fit. It's just like what we talked about the other day with the Cleveland Browns, and you were quick to say, get rid of OBJ.
Wow.
You have all this talent. When you look at this team, they work well inconsistently. And it's not that they don't fit. Like, they do fit when they want to. And a lot of it is choice of player and how you choose to
But
compete.
if the coach can't, shouldn't he be able to get his foot
I
in
get
your
it. And literally,
backside and make you play
not
for
in
me?
this
Remember, they
NBA.
lost on a
You
fluke
can't, but
shot last year.
some guys
Kawhi
have
Game
figured
7.
out how
For
to
me,
do it.
when it comes to Brett Brown, it's about pushing the correct button at the right time.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.